Non-Americans, does your culture have old-fashioned dog names like we do in America, such as Fido, Rex, Spot, Rover, etc., and what are some? Musty, Blackie. Finland. It's considered a classic, but I've never actually met a dog with that name. Thai, top of my head, Dong, spots, Toob for floppy-eared, Wan, fat, Fufu, fluffy, Tong and Jern, bag of silver, Tong Tong, bag of gold, and a lot of times we just call them by their colors like Dum for black, Dang, red, for orange-brown, or Ko for white. In Singapore, male dog, boy female dog, girl were not a creative people. Swedish kindergarten kid to other Swedish kindergarten kid, are you a boy or a girl? I don't know. What is your name? Måns. Oh, then you are a cat. Snotty, Sammer, Beauty Iceland. Ferule in Mexico. Well, in Chile there's a lot of dogs named Cholo or Cholito, which is a word meaning mestizo, mixed race, or crossbreed in English, so it's a name given to most strays, or even just a term to refer to strays in general. There's also a law called Ley Cholito made for responsible pet ownership inspired by a dog who was named that. Also, personally, I've met a lot of dogs named Black and Negro. Hell, I've got 2 pets named Negra myself. Edit, yes, also Kachupin. Pochi and John serve this purpose in Japan, but much like Spot, they're pretty much only reserved for dogs that an author didn't want to spend any effort naming. You almost never see actual dogs named either. Edit. Of these 2 old-fashioned names. Of course people name their dogs, edit too, yes really. John. It's foreign, short, and it was one of the most common names in the Meiji era, along with Pochi. Most of the others are still commonly in use and don't fit the old-fashioned criteria. Closing square bracket. Tuzik, Bobik, Russian, Serko, Ukrainian. No one gives them to dogs anymore, but they are still used in pet-related jokes. Bobi in Portugal. Rexio, Fafik, Poland. Indians, Moti and Hira, pearl and diamond. There's also Sharut tiger. Australia has Dusty, Sheila, Max, dog and Bluey. In Germany it's mostly Bello, but I have also seen lots of Balus lately. Edit. There are lots of other typical German dog names in the comments. In Ireland, the typical dog name is Bran, after the legendary hero Fionn Macumhale's hound. Rover is also an old one. Fenton. Fenton. Fenton, oh Jesus Christ, Fenton. UK. Japanese is Pochi. Also I work at a vet clinic and there are way too many small white dogs named Lucy. And they're always mean. This will probably get buried, but Zimbabwean here. From The Lion King we realized that a lot of people like to name their dogs Simba. It's actually a name for human men out here. So I guess this is the opposite answer. Anyway, to answer your question, our common dog names are Shumba, lion, Boki, no idea why, and tiger. Those are the only few I can remember for now. In Hungary, we have Morzsi, Morza, it means crumb, and Buksi, it means head. Indian here. Every third dog is a Tommy, Jimmy, Brownie, Snowy, Snoopy or Scooby. Uganda, Simba. Common one for France is Mador. Ferule, in Spanish, not sure if Mexicans use it exclusively. Kavike, which kind of means fast, smart, sharp is one. Boss, which doesn't really mean anything though. However, my family is from Amager, basically the Danish Jersey Shore, and I've noticed that basically every Chihuahua, and boy are there a lot, is named Chico or Coco, and a couple Chanel. Italy, Fido. A dog trainer friend of mine had a conversation with a Persian man about differences in how dogs are treated differently in Persian versus American culture. The Persian man said to him the biggest difference was that Persian dogs were given pragmatic names to tell them apart, not cutesy names like in America. He gave his dog's name as an example, can't remember what the actual name was, with a lengthy explanation about what the name meant. It came down to basically, it's hard to translate, but it means he has a distinctive mark on his fur. It's nothing like American names. My dog trainer friend burst out laughing and said, "Spot, your dog is named Spot." Here in India, people usually give their dogs some Western-sounding name. This is because only rich people used to own purebred dogs and they would give them fancy names like that too. But some old-fashioned names do exist, like Karapi means Blackie, Tiger, Raja, King, Tomi, Mani and so on. The Karapi name is usually given to black dogs, obviously. It's a very common name. It's a bit somber. But here's a song where they sing about a dog called Karapi that was killed for caste reasons. Question, op. Bello, but that's the ultimate dog name cliché. Also Waldo, but only for a dachshund. Germany. My mom's German and our cat was Musha. New Zealand. All dogs are named Jim. Quote. The fact that the name Rex made it to my rural village in Kenya, it must be a legendary one. In Hungary we have Ichibes, Rascal, Morza, Morji, Crumbs, Fico, Guy, Lad, Caesar, Baudry, Curly, Edit, Blokey, no particular meaning, thanks, you, underscore, Fulas, one with big ears, thanks, you, just a big clump of cells. Chow set for cats, which means sock, I think it is the best name for a cat. Bante, Batik, Puti, Guard, Spot, White are notorious here in the Philippines. This is a neat question, I would have never thought about this. IDK if this is traditionally old, but my dad who is Brazilian only calls my dog Tico, which he tells me is a common name. Rex, literally Rex, Lesimrki, dark, referring to the color, Lojka like the Soviet space dog over here in Bosnia, at least in the Serbian part, Edit, and generally names deriving from the color of the dog, Mrki being an example. Fiki, pronounced Fihk in Dutch. In my country we have two official languages, English and Maltese. Names like Rex are common, but some people choose old-fashioned Maltese names like Fufu for a male and Fufa for a female. It does not mean anything really, but it is a sort of a baby name or a term of endearment. FFLOS, Jip, Jim, Jess, Sam, Bud, Lad, Molly, Molly, Roy, Nell, Champ, Paraulshedit, thought of Morisali, FFLEI, Kelt, Jet, Saren. In Finland probably Musti or Reku. Here in Canada, on my reserve, they name their dogs after other animals. Bear, moose, etc. Side note, one possible translation of the name Cerberus, the three-headed dog who guards the gates of Hades, is spotted. So the most fearsome dog in mythology is named Spot. Fido is common in a lot of European counties. It sounds a bit different depending upon the language, however. Fido, English, Fido, French, Fadu, Italian. Not a traditional name, but my nan's best friend had a dog called Cough because he'd hump anyone and everyone, so they'd always say Fluff Off, which got shortened to Cough, Cough haha. Carabash, black head turkey. In Singapore the old-fashioned English names at the local adoption agencies tend to be based on their appearance, like Brownie, incredibly popular for the local brown mutt, Blackie, Snow, and Mandarin-speaking families also tend to go with Xiao Bai, little white one, Xiao Hei, little black one, Mau Mau, Fluffy, and so on. I unfortunately don't know the trends for Malay or Indian-speaking families. Also popular are names like Lucky, Happy, Benji, and Max. I'm not a non-American, since I'm actually Native American, but I have a few interesting ones from my tribe, Mohawk, that are most common. Okwari, bear, pronounce Ogwa Leokwaho, wolf, pronounce Ogwa Hokahansi, black, pronounced Gahunjikahansi is also a word we use to refer to our darker-skinned brethren, or black guys, and it's often shortened to just Hansi, pronounced Hunji. Right now, nothing. But stay tuned and stay informed. Sometimes, it is enough to know that something is going on, so you can help them when the opportunity to do so arrive. Change your social media filters. I wish someone asked this question when Iran had its protests. Stop the censorship and keep spreading the footage. We can't do anything about it, and don't kid yourself that we can. Our government have already officially protested to the Chinese, they told us to get fluffed. What next? Well, assuming China rolls in the military, which it doesn't want to do to one of the world's financial centers, then next step would be sanctions. But that would require a global response. Considering Russia and China edit will effectively veto anything the UN does, and American companies rely on cheap Chinese labor and materials, nothing will happen. Chinese government doesn't give a crap what the rest of the world thinks. They have seen that they have gotten away with full-on genocide against the Uyghurs. I think they are confident that the rest of the world will make some condemnations, but won't actually do anything if they decide to crush the protests. They can also look at what India is doing in Kashmir and see how they're getting away with it as well, or look at what the Sudanese military is doing to their protesters, or what Israel does in Palestine. China can do as it pleases, the rest of the world isn't going to do garbage. Pay your taxes, because no doubt the CIA is over there trying to fan the flames just like in the Arab Spring. Please support Hong Kong protesters and stand with us. Personally, nothing, unless you are a leader of a large and powerful nation that can put pressure on China to respect human rights. Even then, you can't do all that much. Edit. People wanted more specifics. What Trump is doing with the trade war is irrelevant to this. If you want to help in HK, you need to threaten sanctions or something if they don't stop violently suppressing protests and attempting to destroy HK democracy.